Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite MLB home run predictions for today. We are talking Monday, April 28th. The Dawn Report is back in your life. I'm going to have 3 home run picks for you guys to lock in for today's MLB betting slate. 3 picks for you guys. Admittedly, it had been a rough end to the Dawn week last week. Home runs were down across the board. It wasn't just me. Hopefully that's not the case this week and that it was just a weird blip in the radar. And I don't want to go back to the dead ball season of last year. But luckily, the entire season on the Dawn Report is still very, very good. We're up over 10 units on the year if you're following my unit size guiding. If you are a heathen and you put 1 unit on home runs, you are up over 42 units on the entire year. The most important thing here is this ROI, 34.37% ROI. It's been slowly trickling down over the course of the past week because, again, it had been a rough week. But at least it wasn't just me. You know, home runs, like I mentioned, were down across the board. But still very pleased with the 34% ROI with the 10 units of profit that we are on. Or, again, if you're a heathen, 42 units. But yeah, we can get into today's picks. I just want to do a recap. I didn't have a video yesterday. That's what I meant to say at the beginning. I didn't have a video yesterday, which is why I'm recapping the entire season as opposed to yesterday, because I didn't have a video for you guys. So what I have up on the screen here, transitioning into my plays for today, is Ballpark Pal. Best tool on the market if you're interested in Ballpark Pal. I'm going to walk through how I use them for home runs, but strikeouts, bases, whatever you are looking for in baseball, Ballpark Pal has you covered. You can get 10% off for the month or 15% off for the rest of the season, which they just lowered the price on that. So part of the reason why home runs were down across the board, weather was gross across the board as well. That's not quite the case today. It's a little bit, one game is in the red, the Nats game. It's a little bit cold in that one. One game is in the green, Great American Ballpark. That makes sense. Red Stadium. I actually don't have a play in that one. I don't play in this one either. So I just took out the 2 extremes. I do have 3 plays for you guys to lock in, and we can get right into it. So the first play that we're locking in here, a batter that you might have heard of, incredibly chalk. I'm going with Shohei Ohtani to hit a home run. He is best offered at plus 300 odds at DraftKings. It was plus 310 at Bet365, but when I last checked, that had dropped down to plus 300. So go check out Bet365. Unfortunately, their odds don't pull on my Tails account, which is where I send all my plays out. So if you're interested in getting everything early, you can go to Tails. I put 0.35 units on this one, so I did up the unit size a little bit because we're sacrificing the odds, so you have to up that unit size a little bit. It's always square going with Ohtani, but he also should you should never see a 3 in front of Shohei Ohtani's name. And even if you look at Ballpark Pal, which prices their own odds, they have him at plus 232. It's rare that you see a positive EV play on Shohei Ohtani because he's such a chalk square guy to take to hit a home run. And we're getting him at pretty decent price. Again, plus 300, plus 310 for Ohtani is pretty good. Now you look at Ohtani, and yeah, he hasn't hit a home run in what? This might take a little bit to load. It's been a little bit since Shohei Ohtani has hit a home run. He had a rough stretch at the plate, but he's coming out of that. And while this loads, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So like I said, he had a rough stretch at the plate over the last week or so, but the last 2 games specifically for Ohtani have been really, really good. I have Baseball Savant up here on the screen, just where I look at exit velocity and stuff. He had the hardest hit of the game yesterday, 113 miles per hour off the bat, 16-degree launch angle. That's really, really good. And then he had another hard hit that was 97 miles per hour off the bat. Obviously, that launch angle is disgusting, so this isn't really helping in terms of home runs, but at least he's back to hitting the ball hard. And I want to show you what he did on Saturday. That's the most important thing here because he hit the crap out of the baseball on Saturday. You look at his exit velocity logs. So he had a double that traveled 331 feet, just a little bit too low of a launch angle, 107 miles per hour off the bat. He had another double, 100.8 miles per hour off the bat, 327 feet. He had a line out that was 100 miles per hour off the bat. Again, these launch angles, we just need them to be a little bit higher. 22 is good. You know, you could hit a home run with a 22-degree launch angle. He just did not quite have it in the cards. And then he had a triple that was 99.3 miles per hour off the bat. So on Saturday, 4 hits, all above 99 miles per hour or more. And then yesterday he had the one that was, 113? So you look at Ohtani, yeah, he hasn't hit a home run since April 16th. So it's been, 12 days, which for him, that's a lifetime. But 2 hard hits on Friday, 4 hard hits on Saturday, 2 hard hits yesterday, 2 barrels as well, according to Fangraphs. So he's been hitting the ball really, really well. And he's going up against a pitcher who's not good. Edward Cabrera is not a good pitcher for the Marlins. Even though he's not a traditional fastball thrower, by not traditional, he's not a fastball thrower, he's still a dong guy. You look at him on the year, home run per 9 of 1.84 is disgusting. You look at his barrel rate, 10% barrel rate is disgusting. Now, his hard hit rate of 35% isn't actually that bad. That's a decent number. But whenever guys are hitting the ball hard, they're putting it in the air. Like a 12.6 degree launch angle also isn't terrible. But whenever they're getting hold of the ball, they're putting it in the air. Fly ball rate of 47% is pretty bad, plus a line drive rate of 17.5%. So that's the line drive plus fly ball rate of 65%. That's terrible. And he's worse against lefties as well. He's given up 3 home runs on the year. 2 of them have been against lefties. Granted, in fewer at-bats, but that home run per 9 jumps up to 2.08 against left-handed hitters. And you just look at his stats across the board. I'm looking at Game Day Insights here, which is where I look at a lot of pitch mix and righty versus lefty splits. Looking at Edward Cabrera, 8.3% barrel rate to lefties, 40% hard hit rate, 60% combined line drive plus fly ball rate, and home run per 9 of 2, which, those are relatively equal to his season numbers, but not great numbers regardless against the lefty. And the weather is not anything to be scared of. It's a +1. The wind's slightly blowing out to right field. Dodger Stadium is pretty neutral in terms of home runs. Like if you hit it to the corners, it's a little bit worse, but if you hit it to center field, it's a little bit better. And Ohtani, he's going to hit it to right center field, right? He's not a huge pull guy. He just hits the crap out of the baseball. So I feel really good about Ohtani. You always feel a little bit like a loser when you take Shohei Ohtani to hit a home run, but when you get it for plus 300, when it's positive expected value according to Ballpark Pal, I feel a lot better about it. And then you look at the batter versus pitcher matchup according to Ballpark Pal, plus 10, extreme advantage in favor of Shohei Ohtani. It's an F matchup for the pitcher. It's a B plus matchup for Ohtani. And you look at the release point. You see Ohtani's, basically whenever he's facing a righty, he's going to have an A plus almost across the board, but he's A plus on both release points in terms of horizontally and vertically. You look at the pitch mix. Everything is good. It's Shohei Ohtani, so he's going to be good. But A plus to the changeup, A plus to the slider, and I think he throws the slider. No, the curveball is what I was thinking of. He throws the changeup and the curveball the most to lefties, and curveball A, changeup A plus. It's just a match made in heaven for Shohei Ohtani. Cabrera's 1% more likely to allow a batter to hit a home run than average, and that's mostly because of that. I guess it was because of the launch angle. But yeah, either way, these two have seen each other. 7 at-bats, 2 times walked, 2 hits, 1 double. That was a home run 85% of the time. You look at that exit velocity log against him, 114 miles per hour off the bat, 395 feet the last time Shohei Ohtani Edward Cabrera saw Shohei Ohtani. So a lot of reasons why I like him. That is our first play. Next up, I'm going with Jake Burger to hit a home run. So another one where the odds slightly moved. I got him at plus 360 on FanDuel. Looks like it's actually now up to plus 350. So it went to 360, down to 340, now up to 350. So it's just a little bit difference. The FanDuel constantly moving their lines back and forth. But I really like this one for Jake Burger to hit a home run. He's going up against JP Sears, who's not a terrible pitcher, but he's definitely not somebody that I'm scared of either. And I really just like backing Jake Burger because he's been red hot at the plate. You look at his game log recently and what he's done at the plate. His last 3 games, he's got a combined 3 barrels. He had 2 barrels 2 games ago. He had 1 barrel 3 games ago. And then yesterday, he didn't have a barrel, but he had 2 hard hits. So it was 5 combined hard hits in his last 2 games and 3 barrels in that stretch as well. And he has 0 home runs to show for it. He hasn't had a home run since April 22nd. But that doesn't really scare me off because, again, the most important thing here is, are you hitting the ball hard and are you putting the ball in the air? And that's exactly what Jake Burger is doing. JP Sears, as I mentioned, he's not a terrible pitcher. He's definitely not anybody that I'm scared off of either. And he is a lefty, and Burger is slightly better against left-handed pitching. Home run per 9 of 1.29 isn't terrible. Last year was 1.39, so a little bit worse. But you look at his advanced stats, barrel rate of 8.2%, hard hit rate 41.2%, launch angle 19.6 degrees. That launch angle is actually disgusting. That barrel rate and hard hit rate are not the worst in the MLB, but they're below average. They're definitely not any type of pitching numbers that I'm scared of for JP Sears. Look at his batted ball statistics. The biggest thing here, that fly ball rate, almost 50%. Line drive rate, 15%. So combined fly ball plus line drive rate of 65% is pretty bad. And Jake Burger, like I said, has been hitting the crap out of the baseball. You go to the weather here, it's a dome, so weather doesn't really matter. But the Rangers have a hitter-friendly park. You go see it's like +6 in terms of more likely to hit a home run than the average stadium. It's a weird field, like to righties, it can be a little bit scary because it's a little bit longer, like in the not quite the pole, but the left field part, but still positive if you hit it to left center. It's admittedly better if you hit it to right field. They're definitely better for left-handed hitters, and Jake Burger is a righty, but he's going up against a left-handed pitcher, so he kind of wanted to target one there. And yeah, I mean, I don't really have much other than that. Jake Burger's been hitting the ball hard as crap, and the pitcher is generally a pitcher you want to target for home runs. It's only a +6 advantage for Burger, so it's not quite the +10 that I showed you with Ohtani. It's an A- matchup for Burger, so that is still good, but it's also a little bit of a better matchup. And this is more for like strikeouts and stuff for the pitcher, which is why you see A- and C as opposed to like A- and F. But yeah, Burger, it's about the same, slightly better, but from a massive data size sample, it's closer to the same. But you look at this year, it's slightly better against lefties. ISO rate against left-handed hitters, 214. Against righties, it's down to 139. It's been a slow start for Jake Burger, which is why like that 214 ISO rate is okay. When you're looking at ISO rate, you want for like the best hitters, you want anything above 250, and then anything considered good is between 200 and 250 for ISO rate. But the release point is good for Jake Burger. I mean, you see A+, and I guess the C-. I was thinking about another one, but A+ on the the vertical side, C- on the horizontal side, so not as much there. The biggest thing here is the pitch mix, the four-seam fastball. JP Sears doesn't throw a great four-seam fastball, and Jake Burger mashes four-seam fastballs. He mashes fastballs. That's generally what you're looking for home runs. I know like Edward Cabrera wasn't a home run guy, but generally the worst home run pitchers throw a lot of four-seamers, and the best home run hitters hit four-seamers hard. So that kind of matches up perfectly. Sinker doesn't really matter, 8%. But Burger, 3% more likely to hit a home run than the average baseball player. JP Sears, 1% more likely to allow a home run. From an exit velocity perspective, Burger mashes the baseball. Sears, above 100 miles an hour, actually is slightly below average, but that launch angle is perfect for a home run. I mean, it's exactly what you're looking for, this launch angle for a home run. And Burger doesn't always hit the ball in the air. He's more of a line drive hitter. But all in all, when he's hitting the ball as hard as he is, like I just look at Burger and the stretch he's been on with the barrels. 1, then 2. Yeah, 0 yesterday, but 2 hard hits, so we're okay with that. And then last year, when he went on the binge last year, it was towards like the August time frame. But you see, I guess this was more so September. But you see, this is the stretch I was looking at. He had a home run in 4 straight games. He had 2 home runs before that, and he had another 4 home run and 5-game stretch in the month of August. So like this is the type of run that Burger can go on. And when he did that, you see a lot of barrels. I mean, barrel in 5 straight games, 2 barrels, 4 barrels in 5 games, 6 barrels in 8 games. That's kind of the types of runs that Jake Burger can go on. That's kind of what I'm hoping that he's going on today. So that is play number 2. Play number 3, our third and final pick of the video. I'm taking Jordan Beck to hit a home run. And now I got him at +650. That actually moved up to +700. So you can get a little bit of a better price than what I got. That's a BetMGM, ESPN bet. Actually, ESPN, I guess, moved down to 600. So it's at Bet365 and BetMGM. You can get Jordan Beck at +700. For Jordan Beck, you look at him. He had this ridiculous run where he hit what? I mean, you look at his home runs. 1 home run and then 2 home runs. This was a doubleheader. So he hit 1 in the earlier game. He hit 2 in the night game. Then he hit 2 again the next day. So yeah, he hasn't hit a home run in 2 straight games after 5 and 3, which is ridiculous. But he's still been hitting the ball hard. I mean, you look at what he's done the last 2 games. Yeah, he's only got 1 hard hit. Both of them were barreled up. Like, he always hits the ball in the air. And to show you even more, so I'm looking at DJ Analytics, which is a good website for home run betting. It gives you EV logs and stuff like that. I'm looking at the last 5 games here. And I'm looking at players that have the most hits above 100 miles an hour. And we see Oneil Cruz, who we were on Saturday. He didn't hit one yesterday, but that's okay. Is number 1 with 13. But look at Jordan Beck. So Jordan Beck's got 10. But the number I want to show you here is this fly ball rate. 63% fly ball rate. That's ridiculous. I mean, you see the batters, like Corbin Carroll at 53%, Spencer Torkelson at 47%. Everybody else, not a single other batter is above even 30%. 63% for Jordan Beck is absolutely ridiculous. And that's why he's hit 7 home runs, because he's been hitting the crap out of the baseball and he's putting the ball in the air. I mean, I cannot emphasize enough. The most important thing here is putting the ball in the air. And you look at Jordan Beck yesterday. Yeah, so we had that one barrel. It wasn't that one. If we look, it was what I forget the exact. It was it was a sacrifice fly, 99.1 miles per hour off the bat, traveled 389 feet. That's exactly what you're looking for. If you can hit the ball 389 feet, you're gonna hit a home run. It was a home run in 10 of 30 stadiums. That was yesterday. And then we go to Saturday, which is where that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Saturday. It's kind of the same thing. Like he didn't consistently hit the ball hard, but guess what? 369-foot fly out, 102 miles per hour off the bat, 24-degree launch angle. That's perfect. That's exactly what you're looking for. So even these last 2 days, he hasn't hit a home run. He still hit the ball incredibly hard, and he's put the ball in the air. And he's going up against the pitcher Bryce Elder, who is not a good pitcher. He stinks. There's a couple of things where you wouldn't think of him being a great home run pitcher, because he's also a contact guy like Edward Cabrera, and he's also slightly worse against lefties than he is against righties, and Jordan Beck is a righty, but he's also not good. Like, he's allowed 5 home runs this year, and I think 5 starts, which is pretty bad. And yeah, he's worse against lefties. That home run per 9 of 2.79 is disgusting. He's also still bad against righties. Home run per 9 of 1.59 against right-handed hitters. Now, you go to the matchup according to Ballpark Pal, and it's strong advantage for Elder. That's just because there's not enough data on Jordan Beck. I love Ballpark Pal, phenomenal website, but with young hitters like Jordan Beck, it's always going to favor the pitcher, assuming the pitcher is not super young, because of the data. Like, we see question mark in terms of the release point. We see question mark in terms of the pitch mix. Now, because he's young, not a lot of his sample size is going to be great. It's really only what he's done the last week. So that's why you see C- for the slider, D- for the 4-seam. He's actually not bad against the main pitches that Bryce Elder throws. So we look at Bryce Elder. We look at him against righties. He throws a sinker and a slider. Basically, the entirety of his pitch mix is a sinker and the slider. And we go to Jordan Beck, specifically off of right-handed pitching. This is on the entire season, where he's been hot recently. But we look at the sinker, and we go to Jordan Beck. It's only been 3 at-bats. One time he struck out. That's okay. But then he had a 320-foot flyout that was 102 miles per hour off the bat. And then a ground out. This was back in March, before obviously he really went on the stretch. So it's not like he's that bad this year against the sinker. And then the slider, again, it's a limited sample size, but 12.5% barrel rate, 60% hard hit rate, 40% fly ball rate against the slider. And you look at some of the things like 437-foot home run against the slider. Fly out, 105 miles per hour off the bat. This was a single because the launch angle was way too low. 106 miles per hour off the bat. Yeah, you see some walks and some strikeouts in there, but when he makes contact, he hits the ball really, really hard. And that's the pitch mix he's going to see over 90% of the time. So getting him, he was just in the plus 300s yesterday. I don't quite understand that. This game is played at Coors Field, which is actually not great. Not as good as you would expect from Coors from a home run perspective. It's because there's slight winds blowing in and the humidity is low. But minus 3% is not anything that's going to scare me off. So I'm also not scared off by this strong advantage in favor of Elder, because there's just a ton of question marks. And I actually think that, the release point I can't tell you about, but I can tell you that these pitches, Jordan Beck has hit hard this year. So I feel good about taking him at plus 700. It wasn't a great home run day in general. But, the couple leans, I wanted to go back to Ben Rice, but he just really hasn't been hitting the ball that hard recently. So I was a little bit scared off. There's a lot of Rangers guys that Ballpark Pal is super high on, like Adolis Garcia, Josh Jung, Higashioka, Wyatt Langford are all pretty highly rated according to Ballpark Pal. Granted, the odds on those kind of stink as well. We're looking at like 340, 370. Josh Jung is the best value at 470. But nobody's hitting the ball as hard as Jake Berger on that team. So that's why I went with him. So not a great day in terms of leans, just the 3 official bangers that I have for you guys: Ohtani, Berger, and Beck. If all 3 of them hit a home run, then we will profit 3.73 units. And if you want to put a parlay on all 3 of them together, the best offered price there is at Bet365. But that's all we got. I appreciate everybody for watching. Check out Ballpark Pal if you're interested. Check out my Tails account if you're interested in getting all my plays sent to you early. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, bet responsibly, and have a good one.